No Dios. I'm here in Ontario, California at Bernie Valenzuela's gym, Crossroads Boxing Gym. I'm here with John Delperdang, one of Bernie's best fighters. He's heading into one of the best, biggest fights of his career so far. He's a rising lightweight contender, 10 wins, 1 loss. He's going up against hammering Hank Lundy in just a couple weeks, December 16th in Cincinnati, Ohio. Say hi to the viewers, John.
Hello viewers, hi, my name is John Delperdang. You can follow me on all the social media things at John Delperdang. I'm the only John Delperdang. Thank you, Raymond.
Yep.
Thank you.
So before we get into the Lundy fight, let's just get into a little bit of background on you. When was the first time that you were exposed to boxing in your life?
The first time I was exposed to boxing, just like watching, me and my Uncle Julio, we were watching Legendary Nights. Me and him, he used to always like to watch that, and we were watching that. And there was a series on HBO, After Dark, and it was really cool, You know, I just always used to get into all the great fights. You know, Chavez, the Leonard, the Marvin Hagler, the Hagler Leonard. You know, like there was just so many different fights back then that they used to show.
Yeah, that's HBO's legendary.
Legendary Nights.
Okay.
Legendary Nights.
Yeah, HBO's Legendary Nights. You know, that's an epic series there. You know, just the other night I watched Hagler Hearns. You know, that whole documentary on that. It really does give you a good feel for the fight game, right?
Yeah.
Not only for the fight, but the background of the fight and what goes on. Correct. Right. All right. So, when was the first time that you decided I want to be a fighter?
First day I decided I want to be a fighter. I didn't believe I was gonna be an actual boxer. I actually used to get into people at school or like people on my class or I used to fight a lot, and I would get beat up a lot actually. You know, I was always that kid that would always get beat up, but I would never stop trying because you know I love fighting. I love it.
Well,
I love that feel.
Fighting gave you kind of like an outlet from your time spent on the streets and incarcerated, is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So it kind of gave you a different path to go to, correct?
Yes.
And can you tell us about how you met Bernie and how you first came into the gym?
Man, Crossroads Boxing changed my life. On November 12, 2014, it was just a bad day altogether. I used to be lost, you know, I was on narcotics, different things. I was a bad guy back then. And I walked into this gym when it used to be on D Street in Euclid. I walked into the gym and Bernie was in the ring doing the mitts. I told him, hey, and he was like, hey, can I help you? I was like, yeah, can I fight with someone? He was like, do you know how to fight? I was like, yeah, I know how to fight. Let's fight. And I ended up boxing with my friend Anthony Young. And that's where I started. In the second round, I hit him with overhand right. He was a southpaw. Matter of fact, like how Lundy's going to do, I hit him with overhand right. And it tripped him up. And he had to get out the ring in that round. You know, that's all the gas I had, 2 rounds, because, you know, my bad habits. But, you know, now I'm just so thankful for that day because God really took me here to this gym.
Right.
God put me on this path to be in this gym. To be in this interview right now, God put me on this path 2 years ago.
Right. So that was your first career knockout, 2-rounder, right?
Yeah, no, my first career knockout was my first amateur fight.
Okay, I was just going to talk about your amateur experience. What was your record?
I was 26-7 as an amateur.
And where did you fight at?
I fought in all of Southern California, a lot of different areas. You know, predominantly Los Angeles and the Empire.
Right.
You know, for me staying with Bernie or something here, I got 11 rounds to fight and pro. And back then I had 22. Before I met Bernie, I had 22 to fight.
That's great. And just to hit on, you know, you transitioning from one way of life to the boxing life, is there anything that you can tell the people who might be in that same situation, a young person as yourself, who finds himself, you know, a product of his environment and, you know, is maybe going through that thing right now? What would you tell them? What kind of advice would you have for them?
I would tell all young, the whole new generation, don't make no excuses. Because there's people that, if you have a bad life, you have a hard life, there's people that have a lot worse lives. You know, some guy that I had a real strong connection with, Jesse Burnett, was a pro back in the 70s, 80s, you know, and he went to jail for murder. That's where he learned how to fight in jail, and he got out and just turned pro. He didn't have no amateur fights. He just turned pro. You can't make an excuse like, oh, I can't box because of my neighborhood. I can't box because I'm poor. If you really want it bad enough, you'll go dig through cans, trash cans, and get recycling, and you'll go pay your gym dues. There's people that do things every single day. It's hard, but you can't make an excuse. Everybody has a hard life. Everyone. You just gotta, if you wanna be a fighter, it takes sacrifice. Not just sacrifice of no girls and eating the right food. It takes sacrifice of your time, literally. Sacrifice of your own blood. You have to push yourself. If you want to be a fighter, you have to. There's no getting around it. You have to.
Right.
It's always a struggle.
Right. So jumping ahead a little bit to John's career, he had his first fight July 31st, 2015. You fought Francisco Solis in Chino, California. Tell them about your first fight.
My first fight, it was cool, just to fight around all my family and stuff, and to see all my friends and everyone, to hear them cheering from from outside of the ring, and then to ultimately drop them 3 times. It was just a good feeling, just to hit without the big gloves, no headgear. That was the best feeling I've ever had in my life.
You scored the knockout, and then jumping ahead a little bit more, you had a string of fights in Mexico,
Yes,
promoted by Big Burn Promotions, correct? What did you learn from those handful of fights down there, your first couple fights in Mexico?
I learned a lot of you need head movement, because with these guys, I wasn't moving my head. I was trying to go in and kill them, but I started trying to work on all my skills, my reflexes, trying to learn different things. I learned fighting Oscar Mejia that you're not gonna just knock everybody out, and Ricky Edwards too. Granted, that was probably the worst fight I've ever been a part of. He wasn't trying to fight, and he didn't have skill or outbox me. He held his way to victory, and that was just a horrible feeling.
That was John's first loss, May 28, 2016, to Ricky Edwards. Kind of a disputed decision. It was a majority decision. Both fighters were undefeated at that time. Ricky did end up with the win, but 3 months later, he actually lost a decision. So he's got his blemish too. Where does your very next fight? This is a great thing that happened in your career was the Andres Figueroa fight.
Yes.
That was just 2 months later, and I think that was one of your best wins. Can you talk about that?
Andres Figueroa is a boy from Colombia. It was really tough. Had a strong build, and it was just a great fight. And my game plan in the beginning was to go in, see what he had. And once I started landing, I just put together my punches and ultimately dropped him, cut both his eyes, and got the stoppage. I couldn't get the knockout, but I got the stoppage, and that was what I wanted. So it was a great fight. He was a great man. And he wasn't mad. Even in the weigh-ins, like he was just looking at me playing. He wasn't trying to start a fight or nothing.
Right.
It was pretty cool. I like that thing.
I think that was one of John's best fights, particularly because Figueroa did have a good couple of first rounds against you, but you were able to get inside on him, and I think that was good that you showed your will inside the ring, which is going to be important in future fights, right?
Oh, yes.
So that brings us to the Lundy fight. How did you first hear about it? Your manager, Bernie Valenzuela, has been doing a great job from what we can see.
Right.
Tell us about what he told you about the Lundy fight.
My manager, my father figure, Bernie Valenzuela, told me, John, how do you feel about Hank Lundy? I told him, man, he's a great fighter. How would you feel about fighting him? I was like, what? I can fight him? Are you serious? That would be great. That would be dope. I mean, all around, I'm going to get experience. I'm going to learn more. He has the skill and the kind of he has the kind of fighting style that I love to fight those guys. I love to fight the guys that want to move around, throw a lot of punches. I like that because I want to overcome everything that he's throwing at me and ultimately get that knockout.
Yeah, Lundy, he's been a lightweight contender for the last couple of years. he has had shots at some minor titles. His last fight was against Terrence Crawford. He was stopped for the WBO title, and he's 3 out of his last 4 have been losses. So do you feel like you're, getting him at the opportune time in his career?
I feel like a fighter, like nowadays it's all you got one loss, so it's bad, But back in the days, there were dudes that would have 15 losses and they were like world champions, contenders, and that's just how it is. You fight certain fighters, and if their game plan that day is better than yours, they're gonna win. But that don't mean that they're gonna beat you the next time or the next time. I feel like right now Lundy's at the top of his game. He's very strong, very fast. He has all the experience from all these fights, and coming off of a knockout from Terrence Crawford, I believe like he's gonna have the heart, the will, the strength. He got the drive to want to push, to want to be. And I want that because I want that man to push as hard as he can to fight me. So at the end of the day, when I get that win, whether it be KO, TKO, decision, that day I don't want no one to say, oh, Hank Lundy was on the way down. He's not on his way down. He's a great fighter. Just because he's been stopped twice, there's a lot of fighters that Jorge Leonardo's has been stopped 3 times. All of his losses.
Right.
And he's a great fighter, knocking people out.
Right.
So this man, I feel like God blessed me with this opportunity to see what I'm going to do.
Well, that's what we have to look forward to December 16th. It'll be John Bang Bang Delperdang against Hank Lundy. Best of luck to you, John. Thank you for taking your time out. John took his time out from working out right now.
I just stopped.
Minutes.
Just stopped right now.
And he's going to get right back to it. Thank you, John. I appreciate it. And good luck.
Thank you.